What's up, guys? Pypo here, bringing you a video today. Well, probably multiple videos, depending on how well this goes, of me playing a horde character. A horde character? What the fuck am I doing? Basically, when Arena got kind of fucked over, basically I've been waiting this whole time to do Arena, and it's been bugged all day, and I'm like, kind of just been sitting around doing nothing, so I thought, I haven't played Horde since, like, 2 years ago or some shit. So I might just make a horde character, and warriors are looking good. Warriors are looking good, so why don't I give warrior a go? So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm gonna do on a level. I'm gonna get into this and just see how I go, pretty much. God damn, I'm one-shotting the shit out of these pigs. Holy fuck. I didn't want to get dancing steel because I thought it was a bit. That basically doesn't stack very well. Doesn't stack very well at all, dancing steel. Oh, by the way, I have no gold, have no bags, have nothing on horde, so I'm like completely fresh. 279 damage. That is fucking OP for level 2. Jesus, that's what I'm talking about. That is good. Whereas like if you have dancing steel or whatever, I don't think it gives you like +2. That doesn't really do much. Same with like the pants and stuff you see here. Actually, 11 strength. Fuck me, that's a lot on the pants. Only $3 stats though on the chest. I guess that's alright. That's not too bad. So I'm actually going to have to pay attention to what I'm doing here. I might actually have to pick up some professions and shit like that. I haven't picked up professions while leveling since 1993. But anyway, what I'm going to do basically with this kind of series of videos is I'm not actually going to really talk about the gameplay. I mean, obviously it's just leveling. It's not going to be very entertaining to talk about just what I'm doing in the game. Because what I'm doing in the game is going to be killing boars in the forest. So it's not going to be very entertaining just to listen to me talk about killing boars in the forest. What I'm going to use this to do is just kind of talk about pretty much anything I want to talk about, anything that's going on currently. And I thought I'd use the first few episodes just to kind of let you guys get to know me a little bit more and how I got into the gaming kind of scene and YouTube and all that. So I thought I'd talk about that first. When do I get charge? Level 3. Alright, let's get level 3. I need charge immediately as soon as possible. But, alright, so let's get into it. How did I get into WoW? Well, I've always been a gamer since about, I don't know, the age of about 6. First things first, I got into soccer. I like soccer a lot. My friends, I used to go back to their place and they'd have like a Nintendo 64, that sort of thing, and it was like amazing. I was like, oh my god, Nintendo 64. And eventually my parents got me one, and I sucked at it. I just, I'd play a game, and me playing a game would be like me playing one of those racing games. I can't even remember which one it was. I don't think it was like Mario Kart or anything like that. It was like a cheaper version, actually like shitty racing game that was cheaper. And but I loved it. I'm not complaining. I basically just play the game all the time and just drive around. I just drive around open world style. Like I wouldn't actually do any of the missions or anything. But I loved it. I love that shit. And then eventually that led me into getting like a PS1. And my dad put a chip in the PS1 and would basically just go to the local store where you'd hire games, which you can't even really do that anymore. I don't think. Would hire games and just like burn the discs, I think is how he did it. I mean, even like these old terms I'm not familiar with anymore. I think he would burn the discs, and the chip in the PS1 would let the PS1 read the burnt discs. So I had like 150 games, but again, I was shit tier, and basically we just I play like every game each day. Like I would just play each game for like 15 minutes, get sick of it, play another one. Like just do that kind of shit. I don't know why I played like that, but I was a kid, whatever. And then eventually I went to a mate's house. Well, when I say mate, it was my parents' friend's son. My parents' friend's son, who was a lot older than I was. And when I went over there, they'd kind of just like stick me in his room to kind of get rid of me, like with the annoying kid. Like go sit in his room and he's playing video games. You like video games. Why don't you go in there and play with him? And he would play Diablo. Diablo 1 on the PS1. What a piece of shit that was. But at the time, I didn't realize. I just thought it was the most amazing thing in the world, going around just killing shit. And that kind of is what got me into gaming even more. Was I eventually got Diablo 1 for my PS1, played it a bunch, and then came my dad buying a PC and getting Warcraft and StarCraft 1. And I absolutely fell in love with Warcraft. I played Warcraft online. I tried to play the campaign, but I was too shit, just too shit there to get through the game of Warcraft. But played the online game a lot. When I say a lot, I would go on and play a fuckload. Not only would I play it a lot, I'd go on they had like the channels, the chat channels where you go in and like talk to people in. And I thought it was amazing going on and just talking to people that like at that point in time was basically when I was discovering like the internet and like discovering how like the internet worked through gaming. And the idea of being able to talk to everyone in the world through a game on just like different channels blew my mind. And of course, it also introduced me like when I turned like 13 or something. Not 13, I would have been like 10. I remember being 10 on the WoW forum, not WoW forums, on the WoW like Warcraft game in like the, I think it was just chats. And I was like, I wonder if there's a chat for everything. So I started typing in random shit. And of course, being at that age, I eventually typed in, you know, /sex channel enter. And when I did that, it sends me to this chat room of just 40-year-old guys talking about sex and like a lot of them pretending they're chicks and shit. That opened my eyes a lot to like the internet as well, like just being like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like there's just a bunch of retards and crazy people on this thing. But it was still cool. It was still cool. And it was a few years later after like Warcraft, my parents broke up, which I'm not going to go into, but it wasn't a clean breakup. There's a lot of shit that went down. Terrible fucking situations. And basically it was a year after they broke up, so I would have been like 12, I think? 11, 12-ish. And I remember my dad, I was about, I think at the time I was going 1 week on, 1 week off, which means I would see my dad for 1 week, go to my mother's for 1 week, and doing that. And it was my mother's week. I was with my mother, and I was with my mother, and I got a call, which was weird. Usually when it was like my mother's week, my dad wouldn't call me in that, because basically he didn't call me, my mother didn't call me because they didn't want to start shit with each other kind of thing. So like it was weird that he's calling me. I answer the phone and it's like you know, what's up? And he explained to me that there's a new game out, which is like Warcraft, and you can I think his words were like, I'm playing a Tauren and I just skinned a rabbit and I can kill stuff and do quests and level with other people. And half the shit he said I didn't even understand, but I still thought it sounded fucking awesome. So I actually asked my mother if I could go to my father's house. She let me. I went over. I think I spent the next week there as well. And after spending a week there, like, that was it. You know, once I had spent a week there, this game had pretty much taken over my life. I'm not even joking. Like, I didn't get addicted to it. I just literally fell in love with World of Warcraft, which is crazy to say, but I was just young, and it was just this amazing thing that, like, I just never had experience before, like this huge sort of world with all these people. And it was like the chat thing from Warcraft that I was talking about, except not only that, it was like I'm actively in this living organism. I'm like in this thing, and it just blew my mind, especially at the age of 13. But it was still fun. I still had a healthy lifestyle, like outside of WoW. I still had like a healthy childhood up until about the age of 14. Now, when I was 14, I had a bike accident. I was jumping a bike, hitting jumps way too big for my age. And basically, I don't know if anyone else has done this, but I got myself like worked up to the point of like I was calling myself a pussy. Like, you know, you're about to jump a jump, and I'm like, I failed to do it like 5 times. So I'd ride up to it and just pussy out and go to the right. And then I was riding away from the jump to go home. I was about halfway home, and I'm thinking, you're a pussy. Like, that thought just came in my head. I was just like, you are a fucking pussy. You're riding away. You didn't even try it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? What is the worst that could happen? You fucking pussy. That's what I was thinking to myself. So I turned the bike around, and from like I'm a good half kilometer away from this jump, I start just pelting. I'm just going so fast because I've just worked myself up so much. I'm just pelting towards this jump, and I'm going through bushes and stuff. I'm in and out, doing all this shit. And I finally get to like the jump, which is like in between all these trees, and it's got like a little drop down. I can't remember what it's called because it's been a while since I did any kind of biking. But it's like a drop down and then hits the jump. I get in the drop down. I hit the jump. Next thing I remember, I'm on the ground. Like, I kind of remember being in the air, but not really. Like, all I remember is waking up. Well, not waking up. All I remember is coming to. My bike's like off to the right above my head, and my foot didn't even hurt. Like, well, basically what happened is I broke 5 bones in my foot and shattered 3 bones, which is definitely a bad situation to be in. And I actually messaged my message and said, hey, I've broken my foot, can you come help me? That's what I messaged her. I think it was those words exactly. And she didn't message me back. She just thought I was joking, because before I left to go jump the jump, I said to her, I'm going to go hit this thing. You know, I'm not coming back till I'll do, or some shit, you know, whatever kids say. So she thought I was joking, especially since, like, I guess if you get that message out of the blue, it sounds like a fucking joke. Like, hey, I just broke my foot. Can you come help me? Like, that's all I wrote. I kind of wrote it like that, though, because I was in shock. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't even think of calling her. I just wrote a message. And then, finally, nothing happened for a while. I just kind of laid there, and then my foot started to hurt. Like, it was a good... It might have been like 15 minutes. I can't really remember, honestly. I just remember sending the message and then kind of laying there. And then I thought, why didn't I get up? Like, why am I laying here? I couldn't figure out why I was still on the ground. So I thought, fuck it, I'll try and stand up. So I go to stand up, and that's when I realize my foot fucking hurts. I'm like, oh, I'll take my shoe off to see what's wrong. And oh my god, that was some pain. That was some crazy pain trying to get my shoe off. And eventually I was just like, fuck it, the shoe is not, it's not coming off. And I started screaming for help because the bike jump that I had hit was like off to the side of like a well-used like pathway in between streets and shit like that. I kind of live in the outback of Australia, if you that like so it's like a little bush around and stuff. So between streets is always like a good patch of bush, a big bit of land of bush, and that's where the jump was. But people would walk through there to get to different streets and shit. So I started yelling out, thinking that someone will hear me. No one hears me, of course. And I can use this from distance now, can't I? How far is that? How far is the... Oh, no, you can. I thought, for some reason I thought you'd use that on distance. No one comes, and then eventually I'm like, well, no one's coming. I'm laying here. I've probably been laying there for a good 20 minutes at this point. So I think, fuck it. I'm gonna need to get home somehow. So I pick my bike up. I start, like, shimmying my way forward, and it's the most excruciating pain. Then I try and, like, sit on the bike and use just one of my feet to like push myself, but the bike jumps like down a hill and shit, and I'm just rolling backwards. It's like the worst decision I ever made. So I get off the bike and I'm like, well, I'll just use the handlebars as props. And this works for a little bit until I get to like a steeper bit of the hill, and then I'm like, there's no way I'm getting out of here. I started to panic a little bit, if I remember, but then after that happened, like literally as that was happening, I heard my mother screaming out, you know, hey, Luke, are you down there? Luke, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, down here. And she comes down, she sees me, and she's like, what's wrong? Because at the time, I was still in shock. I wasn't really feeling any pain. I'm like, I think I've broken my foot. Can you take me to hospital? She takes me to hospital. The first doctor I saw was just retarded. I mean, I don't know if this is the case with everyone who goes to a hospital, or if it's just like you see the first shitty doctor, and the next time you go to see, you see the good doctor or something. I see a doctor, and he's like, oh, you've just broken some ligaments. And what the fuck is a level 72 DK doing out here? Alright then. And he's just like, you've done some ligament damage, that's about it. I mean, it's too sort of move, you're gonna need to see a specialist. I'll make an appointment for you within like 3 days, blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, I think I've broken bones, I can't move anything, but you know, you're the doctor, I'm not gonna tell you your business. And he sends me home with a half cast on the back of my foot. I go home, I sleep for 3 days. I'm just basically just in and out of consciousness because of the pain. Like, I was in like a fuckload of pain. It didn't really hit me in the hospital, it hit me when I got home. And the thing is, they did give me painkillers. It's just because I was in the hospital not really screaming about how much it hurt me that much. They didn't think to give me like really strong painkillers. So when I got home, even though I was taking painkillers, fuck me, I was in like a fuckload of pain. And 3 days later, I go to the specialist and get x-rays and stuff like that. And the specialist says, well, number one, you've got 5 broken bones. I'm like, well, fuck me. The other guy didn't thought I just had ligament damage. It sucks. And then he says, number 2, you have severe ligament damage in your knee of the same leg. I'm like, well, that sucks even more. And then he says, it also appears that you're missing 3 bones in your foot. And I'm like, what do you mean missing? He's like, well, he shows me the x-rays. He's like, see here, here, and here. You're supposed to have bones here. Now, I can see little specks like in little parts of your foot, and it looks like you've shattered at least 3 bones. No, actually, you said it looks like you've shattered 2 bones, maybe possibly 3 or some shit like this. And I said, oh, well, that's fucked. I was just out of it. And then he's like, we could put pins in, but to be honest, there's not much to put pins through at this point. You might be better off just letting it heal and then coming back in a month to see if we can do anything after that point. And so on came this long kind of 6-month period of me not walking right. It was like a 4-month period of me having a cast on, and an even longer period of me like limping really poorly. And then after I stopped limping, I was still like not able to run. And I used to play soccer all the time, but I literally every time I would try to get back into soccer, just kicking the ball once with my foot would just fucking kill me. And like just running, if I ran like off my toes a certain way, would just bring all the pain back. So I started to gain weight. Is pretty much what I'm getting at. Pretty much what I'm getting at is I started to become a fat cunt. What didn't help also in this situation was right as I broke my foot. So I've broken my foot. I'm sitting at home. I can't go out. I'm on MSN, which is what everyone fucking used back then. MSN. There was no Skype or anything, I don't think. And I started talking to a chick, which at the time was like rare for me. At the time, I was like, I shouldn't say at the time. I still don't really talk to chicks that much unless I know them and think they're cute. But like then it's like this random chick. I didn't even know who she was. She just starts talking to me, and I'm like, okay, you know, fucking what's up, blah blah blah. And because I'm not doing anything, I just end up talking to her like a fuckload. And she talks to me a fuckload. Like, and it gets to the point where every day I'm like getting on MSN and having a conversation with her that like lasts about 2 hours. Then that leads to me giving her my phone number and we can talk on the phone. We end up staying up all night talking on the phone, all that shit. You know how it goes. And then finally, I'm about to go back to school, and she's on holidays or some shit. So we decide, you know, oh, it's a good idea for us to get together and, you know, see each other, because, you know, pretty much at this point we know, like, yeah, something could come of this, but we'd never actually met each other in real life. So we go meet each other. She only lived like 30 minutes away, and immediately hit it off. We start going out, blah 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 blah. At the time, I'm only about 14, and I probably made the biggest mistake of my life. Well, at least so far. And I'm going to put this, for any of the younger guys listening to this, if you're like 14, 15, 16, maybe even 17, you're probably not going to want to, you know, lose your virginity. Honestly, you don't even want to do it. You think you want to do it because your dick's going fucking crazy. You don't want to do it. It leads to just stupid, fucking, fucked up situations. And it got to the point where, like it wasn't even love. I pretty much thought that I loved this chick. And it was mainly just because I'd never, like, experienced something like that before. It was the same thing as WoW. It was the same thing as me getting on WoW for the first time ever and thinking, this is amazing. It was pretty much the same fucking thing, except more amazing. Times that by, like, 1,000. And we go out for, like, fuck, it would have been, like, 4 months? Basically, when we broke up, I was walking around with a cast on. Like, I still had a cast on, but I had a shoe that they put on your cast. By the time that started happening, it was also when we, like, broke up and shit. And it was for stupid reasons, and, like, I maybe, like, depressed and shit, and just a bunch of terrible bullshit, pretty much. Like, just shit you don't even want to hear about. And, that led me to gain even more weight. So basically what I'm saying is these two things, like, coinciding at that time, made me just gain, like, a fuckload of weight, made me stop, you know, socializing with my friends. I didn't go out anymore, I didn't go and ride bikes anymore with anyone, and I just kind of started staying in a lot. I started skipping school a lot. I got whooping cough at one stage after that, like my immune system was going to shit, and I got more weight, gained more weight, and I got to the point where I was about, I would have been 17, no, I wouldn't have been 17, I would have been 15 actually, I would have been like 15, almost 16, I was 100 kgs, which is a lot, 6 foot, 100 kgs, actually at the time I would have been 5'9", not 5'9", whatever it is, but like 5'11" or whatever it is, before you get to 6 foot, and yeah, but while this was happening, I was still playing the fuck out of WoW, and I was playing a lot more of WoW because of the situation, because I was becoming less social, because I was becoming less like friendly with people. I started just to become like a major introvert and staying on WoW. But the good thing was, it also, like, it's like a good and a bad side to this. So yes, I missed out on a lot of stuff probably as a kid, blah blah blah. Missed out on this, missed out on that. But at the same time, when I think about it, WoW stopped me from doing a lot of stuff. Like, for instance, nearly every single one of my friends, no, literally every one except one. So out of about 20 people that I considered like pretty close friends from school and stuff, every single one started smoking weed. And I just was not into it. I mean, I did try it once because I would go out rarely, and I went out this one time, and then everyone's sitting around doing, like, smoking weed and shit. And I'm not gonna lie, they didn't even force me into it. I just thought, you know, I want to try it. I want to try everything once, probably, so I may as well just give it a go. Gave it a go, fucking didn't like it, and I've missed something in this cave. I need to pick. And I gave it a go, and I hated it. And not only did I hate it, I had bad history with it. I'll just give you a brief history. My dad used to smoke weed, and my dad used to be lazy. He used to sleep a lot. He used to never make any food. He just buy takeaway all the time, which also contributed to me like gaining a fuckload of weight at that age. And I didn't at the time. I didn't even realize like that's what it was. I didn't realize it was the weed making him lazy, tired, and just all that kind of shit. I didn't know that. But as soon as I smoked weed and I saw what my friends were turning into, I put one and two and two together. You know, I like realized I saw my friends turning into the same thing. And my friends who at 16 they wanted to become like wanted to become like Navy pilots and do all this kind of shit, like doing like hardcore maths, you know, start dropping out in year 10 and just hardballing downwards, just like into a terrible spin of just laziness and boredom. And it's like I just didn't want to be a part of it, pretty much. And so I guess in a way, WoW gave me an outlet and a reason not to go do that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, if I wasn't on WoW, I would have just been bored, and I probably actually would have just went and hang out with him. And I'm not saying I would have smoked weed with him, but there's a good chance I fucking would have if I was not doing anything. I'm like sitting around with all these guys smoking weed. You know what I mean? Sorry, I was taking a sip there of my drink. And so that's one good thing. But another good thing is I found a lot of friends on WoW. Like a surprisingly amount of friends that to this day I haven't met in real life. Haven't met any of them. And I don't know. Honestly, I find a lot of the relationships I have online to be better than fucking relationships I have offline. Like, because online there's no expectations, there's no bullshit. It's just get on, hey, what's up? How's things? Blah blah blah. Let's do this. Let's do that. Thanks, man. See you later. You know what I mean? Whereas in life, there just seems to be a lot of expectations put on you and all this shit. I just hate expectations. I mean, obviously you do need it. You need someone to be able to help you and all that stuff. But you know, I have family that can do that for me. I'm not saying I don't want friends. I'm just saying like, WoW provided that sort of stuff. Like gaming provided that sort of stuff for me when life wasn't there to do it. You know what I mean? So I kind of get to the point where I was, what would I have been? I was 16. No, I was 17, and my best friend moved away, joined the Navy, left, and that was kind of it. After he left, I was kind of like, I kind of realized a week later, like, I actually don't have any friends anymore. Like, I kind of like realized there's actually no one aside from people I know from gaming and online that I actually want to hang out with. There's no one I want to hang out with, and not only that, there's no one that wants to hang out with me. You know what I mean? Because my friends just want to go smoke weed. I don't want to do that, and they know I don't want to do that, so they don't want to hang out with me. I don't want to hang out with them. So they're not even considered friends. You know what I mean? And I was like, what the fuck, man? Like, like it's weird to realize that you don't have any friends, but then I realized, well, fuck, I do have friends. You know, like I have like these friends online, people I hang out with, people I do shit with. It's just that I don't know them in real life. But I thought, well, what's the difference, really? Like, just the physical connection? What's a physical connection? Is it, like, voice? Is it emotional connection? Because all that shit you can do it, like, just through voice and hearing each other. You don't even need to see each other for that shit. You're like, I'm not trying to have sex with you. I'm not your boyfriend or girlfriend. We're just friends, you know what I mean? And so I thought, you know, fuck it. I don't actually need a friend, like, to be in front of me to, like, enjoy their company. Basically is what I'm getting at. And WoW kind of taught that to me and like made me get good friends online that I don't have to deal with other people's bullshit, you know what I mean? And it helped a lot. It helped a lot in the situations where, what is this DK doing? God, he scared the shit out of me for a second there. And it helped a lot in the situations where, oh, we just got fucking execute. Fuck yeah. I don't even know if that's gonna be viable though, because is execute even good anymore? I think execute hits like a wet fucking paper towel. 10th finish with the move, 459. I mean, it sounds like a lot, especially for this level. I haven't done Horde Quest since 93. What do I have to... I used to play Horde all the time. I used to, basically what I did was I had one account with a Shemmy on it. And that Shemmy, I got to level 70? Was it 70? Yeah, it was a level 70... Level 70... No, I started off as Alliance. It was a level 70 Draenei Shaman. And my account got hacked. And my account got hacked because I used to share it with some of my mates I played with. And they obviously didn't look after the computer. They had viruses and shit. They didn't hack it. Their computer got hacked. Their account got hacked, and so did mine from that. And at the time, I don't even think I ticketed Blizzard. I kind of almost liked that it got hacked because I was like, fuck it, I'll just make a new character. I wanted to play Horde anyway. So I went Horde, and once I did that, I made a troll mage named Pypo, and I played it all the way up until Wrath. I made a bunch of other like max level characters, played a fuckload WoW, and once I was about 80, and Kata was about to come out, I stopped playing when Kata came out, and I gave the account to a couple of friends that I still play with today. And then when I finally decided to get back into WoW, my buddy wanted to Wrath. So I made a new account, recruited friended with him, made another alliance character, made a human for the trinket, and made the hunter that now has the name Pypo on Frostmourne. And got that guy. And I actually don't have access to my old account anymore because it's on a different email, and I can't remember the fucking password to the email or the account. So I've been through like 3 or 4 WoW accounts at this point. But honestly, when you get this much playtime out of a game, I don't really give a shit about spending that much money. It's kind of like how much do you spend on like an 8-hour game? Like people in America, $60. People in Australia, like $100 for PC, $80 for a PC game. $80 for 8 hours. You're paying $10 an hour for a game. Like I just don't see when I have like it must be like 100 days or some shit on one character. Like on my original troll mage, I remember having like 365 days playtime. I remember seeing that and just thinking, what the fuck? Like, I've spent so much time on this game. That's another thing. When you see stuff like that, statistics like that, you always think like, have I just wasted like a fuckload of time? And you start to think about your life, like, am I wasting time gaming and stuff? And then I just kind of realized gaming's just my hobby. This is what I like to do. You know, I'm not wasting time. I'm enjoying the time that I have, kind of thing. Like, I used to think because society and people would tell you, you know, gaming's a waste of time, this is a waste of time. It's like, well, what do you do in your free time? You know, you play sports, you enjoy yourself, you know, you go to the beach, whatever. That's what you enjoy to do. That's what you like to do, you know. I'm not going to tell you you're wasting your time by going, like, bodyboarding or some shit. You're just enjoying what you do, you know. And what I enjoy to do is play video games. So I don't see why people in society think it's such a big deal. I think it is becoming a lot more acceptable now.